Most of financial specialists would let you know that each achievement is gone before by various disappointments. Seen Adapts is not really an exemption. The 47-year-old New Yorker, otherwise called Puff Daddy Puffy P. Diddy, or Diddy, has amassed an expected 820 million bucks in total assets because of his accomplishments in design, film, TV, alcohol marketing, and obviously music, yet as itemized as in the new narrative, Can't Stop, Won't Stop, a terrible kid tale. His most memorable effort to bring in speedy cash was drug managing while an understudy at Howard College in Washington, D.C. In the wake of uncovering Alicia Keys, the music business isn't prepared for an immense confrontation in a drawn-out video. Wright has focused on Diddy and isn't keeping down as she depicts how he manhandles his influential place to cause his subordinates to perform for him. She says you were a casualty, and afterward you turned into a miscreant. And that is the very thing you picked. Wright expressed that the music leader had recruited an industry legal counselor who had recently managed a terrible kid in 2003. The skilled entertainer made stunner allegations against the music chief, vowing to uncover reality, every bit of relevant information, and only reality. When she went to Diddy's office to get endorsement for some desk work, she saw vocalist and entertainer Christopher Williams performing Fellaggio, and Puff. The entryway wasn't locked, so she made sure to stroll in. And when she did, she saw Christopher Williams performing individual show on Puff. This legal advisor recounted her time at the name. Obviously, Diddy had a gathering with Williams about a demo bargain. She answered, "God help us, I won't tell anybody," charging that the man had inquired as to whether she wanted to tell anybody, and took steps to demolish her life in the event that she did. "You drove that lady out of your workplaces," said she recognized the truth about you, and afterward you took steps to destroy her life on the off chance that she at any point told anybody. She said Puma went off at Diddy, blaming him for involving his powers to set Christopher Williams to perform Show for him up to obtain a demo bargain. Diddy's head is being held in the jaws of a panther. As though that were really the case, she'd go on by saying that you drove the young lady out of New York, very much like you endeavored to drive Wendy Williams out of New York, and that he attempted to pursue the legal advisor, and even Wendy Williams out of the city. He better make an effort not to pursue the legal counselor who strolled in on Diddy, said she was under Panther's security, and I've maintained her mystery such a long time," Wright said, demanding that Diddy had utilized his ability to compel men into corrupting demonstrations to demonstrate how strong he was. Wright won't hesitate to express her real thoughts, and said he better do whatever it takes not to come after the legal counselor who strolled in on Diddy. Panther kept on shouting at Diddy, saying he really wants to offer to set things right to each and every individual who has at any point endorsed with terrible kid records. Since there's an opportunity, he might have mishandled them all. Panther said these allegations are totally crazy, yet assuming genuine, they will mean the demise of Diddy. You want to offer to set things straight to everybody you have at any point manhandled. You want to make up with every individual who at any point marked an agreement with terrible kid. She even reached Diddy, a punk, and supposedly blamed him for utilizing his own plane to move goofs off to participate in lewd behavior of them. Anybody frightened of you when you're only a troublemaker alongside all the young men and young ladies you put on planes, flying, going to bother them physically. Panther proceeded with his tirade, and Christopher Williams answered in an exceptionally odd manner that almost gave the feeling that Panther was creating things. The world was puzzled after Christopher Wallace, or Big Deal Smalls, and Tupac Shakur were killed 20 years after the fact. A previous LAPD specialist thinks rapper and record maker Shar Diddy searches is answerable for the lamentable occurrences. Previous investigator Greg Kading claims in another narrative that Brushes paid Crips gangster Dwayne Keith Kiffy D. Davis $1 million to kill Shakur, and his then supervisor Marion Usug. Knight Caden claims that north of a half year after the hit-and-run assault that killed Tupac, Knight, who was safe, responded by paying Blood's gangster Wardle Pochi Fuss 13000 to kill Wallace, the Grammy-winning entertainer, who has had various spats with the specialists, is by. And by having his past examined by people in general. Because of these latest charges, Diddy, who was brought up in Mount Vernon, New York, set forth some parcel of energy to succeed, yet the 46-year-old has run into a few legitimate issues along the street with allegations brought against the business person. After various high-profile, incredibly brutal episodes, Diddy likewise found himself amidst the essential hip-jump struggle between the East Coast and the West Coast. Diddy has earned respect for his cause, including his significant gifts to various non-benefits regardless of his legitimate issues. In truth, after seriously hitting NAS supervisor and Interscope Records leader Steve Fold in 1997, Brushes was accused of attack. Evidently, a conflict about the arrival of a music video started the assault. Examiners guaranteed that Diddy and his two buddies walloped Bold at the hour of the attack, hitting him with a champagne bottle and a telephone. In the process, Lopez's allegations were removed, and Debbie at last got a not blameworthy decision. Diddy was confined by Miami Oceanside police by driving with a suspended permit a month. After he was found not guilty connected with the ownership of guns, he marked a guarantee to appear in court and was liberated 20 minutes after the fact, after purportedly requesting his guardians to savagely eliminate a hit bounce advertiser from a New York club. Diddy was hit with an extravagant claim in 2007. The man purportedly had various wounds. Subsequently, relatively few individuals would have trusted it, yet when you consider the number of individuals that feel a little skeptical about Diddy and the manner in which he acts, and how much debate encompasses him in the background, it turns out to be quite challenging to reject that there's something off-putting happening with him. What we've examined up to this point isn't even the most horrendously terrible part. It presently gives the idea that the game tails are before long going to be not worth fretting over. The cohort shimmy government specialist addressed Roseman, a previous music supervisor turned cocaine boss, in 2013. Diddy's sexual direction and whether he had at any point connected with youthful folks to Roseman's information were two inquiries that were explicitly posed of him as per a 2017 case documented in Lab District Unrivaled Court. A financial backer suddenly referred to different rap stars and questioned Roseman about their sexual endeavors, yet the previous chief of Coke requested no setting for the inquiries and appeared to imply that it appeared unexpectedly. Also, Diddy's previous cook said she was dishonestly blamed for burglary and terminated for raising worries about lewd behavior and neglected after some time. Scene Brushes was sued by Cindy Rudis, in addition to other things, for deliberate curse of mental trouble and criticism, as well concerning provocation and reprisal. The cook guaranteed that since beginning in 2015, she has been frequently mentioned to plan feasts for her chief and his guests, just subsequent to